What is up, guys? I'm Masego Thole and I'm back again with another video. So in today's video, I will be flagging the SAICA Student Handbooks, Volume 3, the tax legislation. I'm just going to share some of my techniques on how I flag. I like information that I can see, information that stands out. It looks nice. It not only looks nice, it is very effective. So the thing about flagging is that you shouldn't flag the entire book, you know what I mean? Like if this is white and then you flag everything in yellow, then this is going to be a yellow page. The yellow pages, that's literally what you're going to have as your standard. So be mindful of how you flag. Don't just like flag everything like it's important. Obviously the whole book is important, but there's keywords that stand out. So first of all, when I flag using, okay, let me show you the tools that I use before I get to the actual standard. So I use the Blue Sheep brand. I do not use the paper flag because it bends a lot. I don't want to have my flags like inside my book like that and then having to open them up when I need to use it. You understand? So I don't use paper flags. I use this kind of material. I found these at the campus bookstore, so I'm sure you guys can, find some at the campus bookstore. Also, Van Skyke has them. I like these ones because they're more colors and variety, so you can flag more sections with these. And then, but these ones don't have purple, and I love purple. And then obviously scissors, because sometimes using a full flag for a word like rebate, it's kind of wasteful and it takes up space on your book. You don't want to flag your flags within a certain topic on top of each other. You always want to like have it go down in a line and make it make sense, right? So that you can see it properly when you have to use it in a test or exam. And then this is the pen that I use. So it's a permanent marker. So it's a Pentel pen. This is basically what it is. Yeah, so that's exactly what I use when I'm flagging. So when you open, okay, so actually on top over here, it actually explains the different tax implications. Like in a test they ask you discuss the tax implication of this, right? All of these different taxes or these different tax legislations, I have them in a separate color. Income Tax Act, I have mine, as you can tell when you look at my book over here. Everything in yellow is my Income Tax Act. Everything in pink is my VAT Act. It just makes more sense when a tax implication has its own color, because you can just pop up in that specific section and then find everything. So whenever I see pink anywhere in my legislation, I know that it has to do with VAT. So that's just like a quick summary of like everything, but like let me bring it back now, right? When I flag at the top, those are my main topics. So you will see like dividend tax, VAT, tax admin, securities transfer, right? So those are my main headings. And then my subtopics will be on the side. So the specific section number on VAT Act. So remember I said that my VAT is in pink. So I will have value added tax here on top in pink. That's the main topic. And then on the side, I have the subtopics, like what is a subtopic in VAT? Definitions, right? So instead of like scrolling through the book and trying to find my definitions, literally section 1 is definitions. And then you scroll over to section 7, the imposition, right? I flagged over there on the side, imposition of value added tax. So also the thing about like IAS, how they explained how we should flag is very strict actually. I do realize that like other universities aren't as strict, But basically with us, you can't, I'm just going to explain how it was taught to us, and then if you guys have your own specific understanding of how you need to flag in your own university, that's fine. But basically, when you flag, what you wrote on the flag should not be hidden inside the book. It should show on the side. So you can't have a word inside the book. Like if you're gonna write imposition of value-added tax, you can't have it start in the middle of the book and go all the way outside. It has to everything be outside of the book so that it shows from the outside. Also, whatever word that you have on your flag on a certain page has to be there on that specific page, right? So if you're going to say imposition of value added tax, but there's no such thing, there's no word in this entire page that says imposition of value added tax, you're not supposed to do that. So everything that you flag on the side has to be within that page. If you were to take the section 7 and then circle it, you don't do that. Everything has to be underlined or highlighted. The thing that is most beneficial with my kind of flagging, like for instance, if now my VAT Act is in pink, anywhere within this legislation, like I mentioned, where I see pink, I know I have to discuss, like that's where I find VAT. Instead of having to have everything in one color, and then I have to look for VAT, not just in the VAT Act, but anywhere else, because VAT can impact other tax legislations as well. So in order for it to make sense and finding the sections when I need them, because in a test, like as much as you know your work, right? And you know the sections, obviously you need to know where the sections are. You need to be familiar with them, but you forget some stuff, right? So when you see pink and you're discussing VAT and you see pink, you know that's where VAT is. You understand? So I'm going to make one example. Mergers and acquisitions, right? So that would fall within your section 42 and 45. So your asset for shares and intragroup transactions. I have highlighted those sections in blue. So whenever we get to blue, like even here, section 20, 24BA and 40C and 40CA, I have those in blue. Those are the sections that go together. And even over here, when I go into my section 1 of the book, I have in section 1 of the Income Tax Act, the definition of company is flagged in blue. You see over there. The definition in section 1 of group of companies, I have it flagged in blue, because when I get to the section on section 45 or whatever, I have to discuss the section 1 part of that topic, even though it's within the income tax, and the section 45 is an income tax, it's a bigger topic. So I opened up section 23, deductions not allowed in determining the taxable income. I highlight all my headings in one color. So this is the color that I used. This little green, this, I think this is lime and this is green. But the thing is also so these are the highlighters that I use. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the Croxley Create. I like these for like how small and compatible they are, and they actually highlight nicely, but I just don't like, I was not aware when I purchased them that they have like smells. They are fruit scented. Okay, I don't know what this one smells like. I'm sure it's like a lime, but I can't smell that. This one smells this one smells, it's an apple. This one smells like an apple. What is this one? I don't know what that is, because I want to say strawberry because it's pink. I'm not sure. Do strawberries have a smell actually? What is this? Ugh. It should be like bubblegum, or but it's not. Like, I don't know what this is. What is blue also? I don't know. And then we have this purple one. Oh, that is a grape. This is grape scented. And I know the yellow one smells like a banana. which is weird. Ugh. But yeah, they smell like fruit, and which is weird. But yeah, these are the ones that I use. And also I use the fine liner. I think it's a Pick and Pay brand. I don't know. Whatever you can use. I always highlight all the section numbers in the same color. And then depending on what flag I've used, I use the highlighter for that flag. So again, because my VAT is pink, I highlight in pink and then I underline in pink as well. So just to make everything nice and cohesive, and to make it match to the actual flagging. Also, remember I just mentioned the fact that so my section 45 and 42 is in blue because it's like its own topic that stands out on its own. As much as it's part of the Income Tax Act, it just stands out a lot on its own. The same goes with CGT. So when I go into my CGT standard, I have highlighted CGT. Well, not really. So, okay, this was a mistake. This I did earlier in the year. So, but my CGT is in purple. So everywhere within the standard where there's a CGT implication, I will highlight and flag in purple so that I know that, this topic also has CGT, and then I should also, take into account CGT. My employers and provisional tag, my fourth schedule is in green, but like a dark green. So remember I said I like these longer ones because they have more colors. Like if you were to go with this one, you're stuck with the one green, right? But my fine liners, I have both light and dark green, so I can utilize this pack more for that. Double tax agreement I have flagged differently. So over here at the bottom, this is where I have flagged the DTA for Mauritius and the UK. And then on top here, so I flagged it in like a lighter pink. I think it is a lighter purple. It's this color over here. It's like a lighter purplish pinkish color. And then on top is where remember I said like I usually put my subtopics on the side, but then for DTA specifically, I put my subtopics on top, and the actual main topic, which is DTA, I put that on the side. Is there actually a word called DTA? They call it double tax agreement. So that's what I flagged it as. I said double tax agreement, Mauritius, as well as the UK. So if there's an abbreviation, like I said, you have to use the exact words that appear on the book, like on the page. So if there's no such thing as DTA, you can't use your own little DTA abbreviation, You use what is on here, and then over here, somewhere they say double tax agreement here on top. So as much as the different tax legislations are in separate colors, my schedules are also in separate colors, because as much as they do fall within the Income Tax Act, they stand out more on their own because they're such big topics. So I flag and highlight those in separate colors. Also, another thing that I do is, so when you open up your standards and then in like somewhere throughout the paragraph, in brackets, they will have something like words of like a definition of, like in this case, they say contributed tax capital. And then right at the end, it says with effect from, right? And then a date. So in this case, it's with effect from 1 January 2023. So I usually highlight newer paragraphs. Specifically, I use orange, right? Because you can use whatever color, but then I use orange because orange is a very less highlight like color that I use. Like for instance, here I use orange for my fourth schedule. Is it fourth? My seventh schedule, my fringe benefits. So it doesn't affect, I know that it's not the same thing as fringe benefits. It's just that I ran out of colors, but I've highlighted effective dates, because whenever I study or like revise and stuff, I have to always go through the newer sections first. And sometimes it happens that, even if you don't get to like flagging or highlighting everything, but you do know for a fact that the newer paragraphs are very important and they are very most likely to test that in the upcoming test or even whenever throughout the year. Okay, and then there comes your text tables. So text tables I have here on the side. I did not flag I did not flag text tables at the top, even though it's like it's not a topic, but it's a thing that stands out on its own. So right here at the end, not the end, but somewhere in the middle of the book, I have tax rates. I have, and then obviously this is how I highlighted my book, right, when it comes to tax rates. So this is the normal individuals tax table on or after the 1st of March 2022. So this is relevant like today, right? And then I've highlighted specifically again small businesses. I've highlighted, so this is small businesses on or after the 1st of April 2022, and then small businesses on or after the 31st of March 2023. So when you're in a test, if you don't have this highlighted, it's very easy for you to just see small businesses and just use that small businesses, even though this is the previous one and then we are on this date. So anything from the 1st of April 2023, we start using this tax table. And then for retirement lump sum withdrawal benefit, this is its own thing. And then lump sum benefit is its own thing. And then severance benefit is its own tax table. And then I have tax rates over here, like for when calculating your right of use and all those kilometers, travel allowance, whatever. And then write-off periods, I have also highlighted those in case, in a test they don't give us, they always give us, but then just in case, because sometimes they have like these odd assets on there, just so you know where to find your write-offs. It's in the binding general number 7. So when it comes to like, dividend tax agreement, for instance, so I only highlighted obviously the parts where we were tested on this year. So this is obviously the different articles that we do. We don't do all of them. We do Article 4. So I've highlighted Article 4. We do Article 6 and 7, but paragraph 1, 10, you see. So all the ones that we are tested on, I've highlighted, and then everything else I have not ruled out. But I guess you can just rule it out with a pencil. I just did not, because everything that I've highlighted is what is tested. I need to still finish highlighting this one. Actually, I'm not done. So also another thing when I highlight is that any sort of negative paragraph or an exclusion, I underline it with a red pen so that it stands out. This is most beneficial, especially when, let me now go back to my section 42. Right, so it says over here, asset for share transaction means any transaction, blah, 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 disposes of an asset other than an asset which constitutes a restraint of trade. So if I had highlighted everything here in blue, I would have included probably restraint of trade assets, right? So it just makes you be aware of what you should not do before you do, right? Especially when there's like a specific exclusion paragraph, like over here. This section does not apply to the disposal of an asset by a person to a company if, and then there's specific criteria. So I know every time I'm dealing with section 42, before I start even doing a lot, before I do too much, I'm here. Is there an agreement in writing that this should not apply? Okay, if no, all right. Also, these are ors, right? You have to be aware of your ors and ands. Sometimes I do highlight ors and ands, like over here on section 42, subsection 2, A is an and. You see that? So your ands and your ors are very important. So if it's an and, all of them need to be met. If it's an or, just one of should be met in order for that subsection to apply. So it's just great to have your negatives in or your exclusions in red so that everything stands out and you're not wasting time busy doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. Section 10(1)A, it's excluded from our module outcome. BA is excluded. Let me now go to where it starts getting included. G. I just highlight what that paragraph is about. It's about war pensions. So war pensions are an exemption. Any disability pension. Okay, so like when you're reading your scenario, these are the words that these are your triggers. These are the words that stand out, and these are the principles of what they're testing. Another thing also, when you flag, you flag from the top of the page all the way to the bottom of the page, right? Let me go to VAT because it's nicely almost full, right? So I put VAT Act at the top because that's where I also put it at the beginning, where all the top, like the tables of contents, where all the topics are, so that I can see everything, even the things that I did not flag. I just know, like, it breaks it down nicely. This also applies with Companies Act. You'll see when I start flagging Companies Act, this contents page is very important. But basically what I was saying is, at the top is definitions, because that's where we start. Like, whatever we do, we always revert back to our definitions. So at the top, I flag definitions. And then when I start flagging the next part, in my case, it's imposition of VAT, I do not flag right at the top, because that's where definitions is. Like, if I close the book, I don't want to have my definitions on top of my impositions of VAT, right? So I put it at the bottom. And then the next one will be deemed supplies. Put it right at the bottom of that one. So all the flags need to be down. They need to go down. Nothing needs to overlap, because if it overlaps, then how are you going to read it? Like over here. My yellow is over here, my pink is over here. As much as my yellow does hide my pink, it doesn't really hide it, because I can just remove the yellow out of the way and then I find my pink. You see, I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining that well. But basically what I'm saying is, when you're flagging within a color, you start from the top and then you go all the way to the bottom without the next page interfering with the other pages. It has to flow. So the next page, you see down here, and then the next one has to go down, go down, go down. Even though it's the next page, it shouldn't overlap. It should go down in order. Oh, I hope that made sense. This is a long video, as much as I did not plan for it to be long, but it just takes a while. I'm an explainer, so things are very explained when it comes to me, because I don't want to, I want, like, if you're going to ask questions in the comment section, I want it to be anything that is like outside of what I could have even thought of addressing, right? But I want the gist of my title to address exactly what I wanted to address. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, but anyway, you guys, I hope this video was very useful for you. And if you do actually have any more questions for me, please do ask me in the comment section, and I will be sure to answer all your questions. And I really hope this video was helpful. Yeah, if you have any suggestions also on how I could have executed the presentation of my video, please do let me know, because I intend on doing these flagging videos for my and other standards as well, just to show you how your audit standards and your IFRS standards are highlighted and flagged. But yeah, I hope this was helpful, and if you do have any suggestions, please ask and suggest in the comments down below, and I will check you on the next one. Bye.